Hello, everyone. It's really hard to believe that 18 years ago was when those terrorists took control of those four planes and rammed them into different buildings and that field. I was only 8 years old when that happened. When my teacher turned that on in third grade, I thought originally it was maybe some kind of action movie or something like that. But then it turns out, wait, it's reality. And for I don't know how long we've been fighting over in the Middle East. I think it's almost been 20 years now. Um, it's just so it's an agonizingly long war on terrorism. Um, but again, my 9/11 thoughts initially were I thought it was an action movie, but then I started seeing more of the news plus in the newspapers that it was reality. And I was just like, why? Why would anyone want to attack a good country? And then I started digging a little deeper in the latter parts because at 8 years old, I'm just like, we didn't do anything wrong. Why would they come and do something like that? And from what I remember hearing it was kind of in part because I think of some policies we had implemented on the Middle East. I think kind of like how we cut off oil imports to Japan back in the day. That's why they bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941. This is only the second time the United States was attacked on our own turf. And I'm not counting like the Battle of 1812 where the Brits burned down the White House. Well, maybe you do, but that wasn't a terrorist attack. Neither was the Japanese. Well, you could consider it. I don't know. But with 9/11, you're attacking civilians. That was the main thing. I think with both the War of 1812 and Pearl Harbor, those were both military attacks. This was a terrorist attack on civilians, which is fucked up. But to me, I don't know if anyone would relate, but this is just my theory or opinion on terrorism. Is they piggyback on a religion in order to, make themselves more known. Like ISIS, the Taliban, and Al Qaeda. Yes, I'm saying F you to those three groups. Um, what is it? They're piggybacking off of the Islam or Muslim faith and saying that, oh, they're doing it in the name of God. Those guys ain't doing shit. They're just going around, running around, screaming at the top of their lungs with Soviet-made weaponry for the most part, and they're idiots. But the thing that's annoying about them too is back in World War II, World War One, any war prior to the War of Terrorism, you could easily identify who the enemy was. Terrorism, as it sucks, you can't tell who's a terrorist these days. Which kind of, on a side note, means with what Trump has been doing with his ban on Muslim countries, that's not the issue. With the recent things that have been going on where people are taking assault rifles, pistols, whatever, and shooting up unarmed people, that's terrorism within our own country. And I've seen it. It's mainly like white people that are mentally unstable. And I know this is a controversial video, but I had to get this out here just because of what I saw back when it was televised, and also what's been going on in this day and age here in the country. And it's just really sad that it feels like no one's paying attention to the inside of the country, but always paying attention to the outside of the country. And I'm just like, we need to focus more on domestic terrorism nowadays than international terrorism, because I'm not hearing much about that these days. It's internal terrorism, and that needs to be nipped in the bud. But I'm pretty sure the Trump administration doesn't want to deal with it, because I'm sure the so-called president would rather be out golfing than dealing with stuff like that, which is pretty pathetic. Politics aside, the main thing is 18 years ago I was I was pretty much shocked at what had happened to the country. I had read about Pearl Harbor, but I didn't expect a second attack on the United States to happen. At least not while I'm around. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. A lot of innocent lives were lost that shouldn't have been lost. And I don't know, it's just it's changed a whole lot of society in general, at least in my opinion. I'm kind of out of words right now. My stomach just wrenched itself sideways, it felt like, just because of talking about this. But need to talk about this, wanted to talk about this, so this coming Saturday you'll see more of my model railroading videos. I also got a bit of a tune-up on my Union Pacific 844, and this October you might see me with, I'm going to be surprising you guys with something on my channel in mid-October regarding trains, no less. So, and to Turley's Catgar 31652, if you think people like me have a problem with filming trains, then fuck you, Turley's, you piece of shit. See you next time.